Hello, I am Amanda Wacker.
Hola, I am Lenise Castro.
สวัสดีค่ะ I'm Osama Lekboa.
And we are the Triplicates. Welcome to the 11th episode of Season 2 of the Triplicates Podcast. We are three first-gen women of color currently in the second year of our PhD program at the University of California, San Diego.
With that, in the last episode, we learned a little bit more about Amanda's journey through science. In this episode, Osama, what are we talking about?
So this episode, we'll be talking about my favorite pastime/activity, which is self-care.
I love the deep sigh that
I know, yeah.
Thank you. I
self-care.
I engineered that in. It's inspired by Lenise.
Fine?
Yeah.
I love that I'm consistent with my
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff going on. We took a little break, a long spring break, I guess. If we get 1 week off, we took 2 weeks off of.
With that, in the last episode, we learned a little bit more about Amanda's journey through science. In this episode, Osama, what are we talking about?
So this episode, we'll be talking about my favorite pastime/activity, which is self-care.
I love the deep sigh that.
I know, yeah.
Thank you. I
self-care.
I engineered that in. It's inspired by Lenise.
Fine?
Yeah.
I love that I'm consistent with my
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff going on. We took a little break, a long spring break, I guess. If we get 1 week off, we took 2 weeks off of recording or dropping episodes, technically. But we're back. It's May. It's spring quarter. And, there's a lot happening and there's a lot of reasons to de-stress when you get home.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Let's start with a little bit of like checking in on what everyone is up to. Are you in class? Are you doing things on the side, extracurriculars, clubs? Who wants to go first? Lenise?
I'm not doing anything on the side.
We're taking classes.
Wait, you're done with ethics?
We're taking ethics. But thankfully we only have to do one presentation for that class, and me and Amanda both did it, so we're a little bit more relaxed about it now, I guess. It's nice to have done that before we came back to recording. What else am I doing? I'm going to start mentoring undergrads in lab. I'm really excited for that. I miss mentoring a lot. I just gave my first talk outside of lab to people super close to my project and hear me complain about it every 2 seconds. So it's nice to know that I can communicate my science. It seemed to have gone pretty okay. Pretty happy with it. And yeah, just this quarter is a lot about science, since the last 2 quarters have been taken up by writing. Oh my God. I got a fellowship, guys.
Yeah. I was going to lead into that, but then I was like, who's going to say it?
I totally forgot I haven't said it. Oh yeah. I was writing all of fall quarter, and then I IA'd winter quarter. And it seems to be that all my writing was worth it. And I did get a fellowship outside of just, practicing my science writing. That's all fun and good, but it's nice to be a funded girly.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yes.
Do you want to say what you got? Because you didn't.
Yeah.
I want to really emphasize that this is my second time applying to this fellowship. My first time I got honorable mention, and that goes to say is like, if you have the time, the space, like the mental ability and like emotional ability to apply to a fellowship twice, do so, because you might end up getting it. But I was awarded the Ford Fellowship, and it'll cover 3 years of my grad school. So essentially,
the rest of
I have
it.
left. Yeah, it's exciting.
Great. What is the Ford Fellowship for people who don't
do you want,
know?
a definition?
Yeah, or to you, what does it mean? What are the different maybe opportunities that you get from being a fellow?
So the Ford Fellowship is via the Ford Foundation, whose priority is to increase diversity in the sciences and just in academia in general. So it's a fellowship that you can apply to if you identify as URM or low income, or having some sort of diverse background. You'd have to look at their eligibility requirements.
Mm-hmm.
But it's determined in giving money to those who are dedicated to increasing diversity as they go through their scientific or academic future. And so I had to write not only a research statement detailing what my proposed field of research is going to be, but also a personal statement talking about my background and why I identify with the background that I identify, as well as how I'm going to use that to motivate me to help increase diversity in the sciences. For example, I talked about the podcast and how I want to continue to demystify the PhD, because oftentimes, even for me, say 5 years ago, I didn't know what a PhD was. I didn't know if I could even be a scientist. A scientist was a cis white man in a lab coat to me for the longest. And now I am a scientist. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to go to now have this big network of people, committed to a specific cause and something that's important to me and something that helped me get into science. And there's a conference every year, and they pay our way to go to the Ford conference to meet these people. And yeah, so I won the pre-doctoral award, but there's also postdoc awards as well. It's very exciting.
Yay!
Congrats!
Wow.
Thanks.
I mean, like I said, we are an award-winning podcast.
Yes.
We are. And Amanda also got news about...
yeah, I got honorable mention for NSF, which is great. I don't know what I was expecting, but I thought I would be sad that I didn't get it, but I was very chill about it. I think I was just okay, so that's a fun thing to learn about myself, I guess, is I am not emotionally wrecked by rejection anymore. So
is that a good or bad?
That's gross, right there.
But yeah, I can talk a little bit about what I'm doing too. So I'm not teaching this quarter, which is a relief, honestly. Teaching so much. It's just so much energy. Yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm still with OSTEM, so the Out in STEM thing. It's a graduate professional organization. Wow. And we just had our first event on campus with another
oh yeah.
Yeah, so we did it with the International Students and Program Office, and it was really cute. We had coffee and donuts, and we made friendship bracelets, and it was wow. Okay, this feels like a club. Before it felt just 6 people meeting on a Zoom call to you know what I mean? But now it's oh, there's people here, and it was nice to meet people and be outside of just the same 6 people you see all the time. So that was really lovely. And then I got my scuba diver certification.
What?
It's on octopus. That was my whole thing. My whole thing was I'm gonna get scuba dive certified, and I want to see an octopus. And boom bam, we did it.
Boom bam.
She was looking a little rough. I think it was when octopuses give birth and then their children eat their bodies.
Yes, thank you for...
I don't know about that one.
Octopuses.
Yes, you're welcome.
Wait, they give birth and then their children
eat their body.
Like eat the mom's body?
Yeah, like she dies and then
she
Oh,
sacrifices
no.
herself.
yeah.
The
It's like
aquarium's octopus just died. Sad.
yeah. Oh,
Which aquarium?
Birch?
Oh,
Long
Or-
Beach? Oh, okay.
Mm.
The big one.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's something fun about nature. But I think she was in
my
the dying for her
gosh.
children phase of her life, which, I love that for her. But like, she was looking a little rough, but it was still like, I don't know, it was a very majestic experience to like, just see her eyes, like in this, like, she was in her hole. You could see her eyes and like a bit of her body. And it was just like, I don't know, I felt like I was in a different world and I was just like a visitor in this space, which like I am. I'm 60 feet underwater. I shouldn't be here. And it's just like, I don't know, it was something I've always wanted to do. So I'm happy to have done it. Yeah. So it's like, it was something I wanted to do originally because like astronauting, like everyone who is an astronaut gets scuba dive certified because they have a full-scale replica of the International Space Station underwater, and it's like you go practice your missions underwater.
What?
Yeah. So that's like it's like a big thing to be able to be like, yeah, I can like handle myself underwater and not be stressed and like be able to navigate and use my hands and whatever.
Will you talk about self-care underwater then?
I think being underwater is self-care for me. So
That's a little teaser for you.
yeah. But yeah, I think, what else did I do? I think that's it. I've been reading a lot too. I think I knocked out 3 books in the last week and I'm on my 4th one. So
Wow.
yeah. So self-care. Yeah. What have you been up to, Osama?
Let's see. I feel like this is the first fall quarter in my new lab because the winter quarter I snuck in a vacation too, so it felt shorter. But for this one, I feel like I'm getting more established in my projects. I'm often the lead person for collaborations. I have meetings with industry partners. I am mentoring undergrads, so things are getting busy in the lab. I'm still involved with Nucleate, which during this quarter is when all the teams that are looking to create their own companies will go into their pitch events. So it's exciting because it's this like big at the end of the training and all the coaching, mentoring. So we get to see like what their final pitch is. And I get to meet a lot of people who are interested in entrepreneurship or career coaching, biotech things around the San Diego area. What else have I been up to? I'm a community assistant, which it's really neat because you get to host events for people who live at the graduate and family housing campus. So including professional students, graduate students, their families, their kids. So I hosted a yoga program. And then in June, I will be hosting 2 programs that are LGBTQ focused. So hopefully we'll be meeting a lot of folks and creating a space for them to recognize and celebrate them. So I love doing that. And then, are we going to talk about community meetings or no?
I think we could do a whole episode on community meetings.
Because that has been life consuming.
Oh my God.
I was like emailing from Hawaii.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We can do next episode. Like we could do a before and after,
Oh my gosh. But mine is like 2 days before the deadline. LOL.
Oh my.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. I can watch y'all go through it.
Yeah, let us suffer and then you don't have
to. Maybe I'll suffer in a different way.
Yeah. Okay, bringing it back to today's topic, self-care. Osama, you really are a self-care advocate. What is self-care to you? Like, what does that mean to you?
This is a great question because it can be anything. It can be you doing something that make you feel good or feel, I call it like self-preservation. So doesn't have to be like, doing a face mask, like buying stuff, doing activities. It can just be like, okay, what do I need right now? And what is it that I need to do in order to feel like I am whole or I am with myself again? Yeah. So it can look like a lot of things, actually. My favorite, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can choose a favorite, but if I had to choose one, I would say power naps for sure.
Okay. How do you wake up? If I take a nap, I'm down for an hour and a half. I'm so serious. And I will wake up exactly 90 minutes later. Like it's a full thing. I don't know how people do power
Maybe
naps.
You're just so powerful that your power naps are 90 minutes.
That's how much I need to regain my power. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. And yeah, I think I associated with like self-preservation, and a lot of it, like self-care sometimes looks like saying no, thank you to something to like preserve your time and your energy. Yeah. So it can look very different. What about you, Amanda? What does it look like to you?
Yeah, I think self-care is, sometimes I hear people be like, self-care is like above taking care of yourself. But I think for my stage in my life, taking care of myself is connected to like making sure I'm like mentally and emotionally okay. I think that's like what it is like the week, like kind of like brings you down, and then to bring yourself back up to like, okay, I feel good again, or like I feel like I can handle whatever life's throwing at me, is like to do that. So like for me, my biggest thing for self-care is like I try to have my evenings to myself, like and to myself doesn't mean I'm like home alone. It's like I am doing something that I want to be doing after 4 p.m. or like that's something that is important to me after 4 p.m.
So not at work.
Yes, I am not at work. And it's like that is my biggest fight, is like putting my foot down about that. And like I think we're like getting somewhere, but like we'll see at the next IDP meeting, But yeah, like I think that's how I make sure that I'm okay the entire week, is like I know, okay, like I'm not going to be in lab until 8 p.m. and I'm going to be able to, like I said, I read 4 books last week. Like I'm like, oh, I want to go home and read my book, and that's going to make me feel good because that's doing something that I enjoy. Or like I've been cooking food that like I actually want to eat, which is like mostly pasta, but I'm like craving this food, so I'm like going to make it for myself, and that makes me feel good. And then I think something I do all the time also is like I am someone that like wants to always share my day with somebody.
Yeah.
So like I stay in a group chat. I call my friends like every day. I sit on Zoom with my friends. Also, that's like I think the biggest thing that has helped me also. And like this seems like such a weird thing to do. I think when I tell people that I do this, I sit on a Zoom call with my friends, all of us muted for like hours. And it's like, oh, I just have work to do and I just need someone to like sit there with me, And it's like my 2 friends they just finished their finals week. So it was like 2 weeks of us just sitting on Zoom, and like I'm doing work, and I feel like I work better for some reason when I'm like, oh, like I don't even see the Zoom screen. I have all these windows above it, but I'm like, oh, Sophia's there. Yeah. And it makes me feel like, okay, like I'm not in this by myself. So, yeah.
I love that. Do you think that's kind of like going to the quiet floor in the library with your friends? No one's talking. You're just doing your work.
Exactly. And these are my friends from undergrad, and that's like we would study together all the time. So it feels like we're just studying again. And I feel like that's maybe like why it's like feels good. I think I do miss like a library though. I don't think I've been to a library at all since grad school, and maybe I just need that space of like this is a place and a time to do work, and I'm going to get work done, and then I'm going to go home and I don't have to do work. That's what I want. Lenise?
We have libraries here, friend. Okay, the Biomed library is so pretty. I haven't been in it, but it looks pretty.
Do you want to
go there?
I would not.
Do you want to go together?
It's like a 2-minute walk from my office, so I really like it.
Okay.
If I need quiet time, I just go there. I can take meetings from there. They have like group study spaces. You can borrow actual books from there. Wow. It's amazing.
Very nice.
We should go.
Yeah, we should go.
That was also my library choice. What do I like to do? I love trash reality TV.
Oh my God, yes.
I just binged Ultimatum. I have opinions. What else did I binge? Selling Sunset also just came out. Also binged that in like 2 days.
What is that one?
So supposedly, allegedly, for legal reasons, they're real estate agents, but it's just like a bunch of drama on the show. It's like, this girl said this and I'm mad at her because this and yada, 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 yada. Kristen Staus, she was married to Justin Hartley or Hartley, I don't know, is on it. She's cool. Another girl. I don't know. There was a whole drama. There was this last episode was like someone bribed someone else's client to not work with them. And I was like, oh, that's a no-no. They called it unethical. And I was like, this is nice. We're just, ethics is running my life. It should always.
Yeah.
But in terms of taking a class, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear the siren?
I can't hear the sirens.
Sheesha. So
I can't hear it yet. I hear it.
We got there eventually. I got back into reading, but like slowly. I bounced between reading and watching shows. I realized that I miss like just passively hearing Spanish. Something that when I hear it, I realize like how much I miss it and being home, etc. I don't even have to be participating in the conversation. If I hear it, it reminds me of, my entire life outside of college and here.
Yeah.
So I also I'm turning into my mother and I'm watching novelas. I think it's helping with my Spanish comprehension and usage.
That's good.
So I'm always also watching Mariposa del Barrio, which is not a docu-series, but it's like about Jenny Rivera's life. And it's like nice because it's the music I grew up listening to too. So yes. And I'm a huge advocate of napping as well. Like napping until 8 p.m., waking up, getting ready for bed and falling back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a great way to spend my afternoon.
Yeah.
Being a blob on the weekends and not getting up until I want to. I also realized there was this like half week that I didn't have my coffee at home. I did have coffee, but I would take it with me to lab.
Are we evolving?
No, I don't.
Is it good or bad?
No, it's bad.
It's bad.
I realized that was like one of the least happiest lab weeks that I had. And I really just enjoy having my little
it's time to yourself
with a froth. Yeah. And just drinking it in bed and watching a show or scrolling through TikTok. Start my day with like no thoughts, like empty head, brain sick. And then going into work, lab, whatever you want to call it, school, doing my stuff. And having a cathartic scream here and there as always. I think we've kind of mentioned a bit of this throughout the show, like with Amanda saying she wants to have her evenings to herself, me saying that I want like my mornings to myself to have my coffee. But what are ways and how have you set boundaries for yourself in the beginning and now? And like, how have you been good at setting boundaries? Have you been good at following those boundaries as time's gone on? Asama, Alma.
I feel like I'm still figuring that out. But I would say that it has been really helpful to, like, again, maybe because I'm a Virgo, set aside dedicated time or creating like schedule of when I do certain things. So, for example, like 1 hour every Tuesday is when I do all of my nucleate stuff, or like 1 hour on Saturday is when I do all my community assistant stuff. Yeah. So that way I keep all these like to-do lists from just like interfering with, me trying to run an experiment or going into meetings. with something else unrelated. I also will have dedicated time to exercise or to go to therapy or to go to my doctor's appointments. And I will absolutely not cancel those or let anything like interfere with them, because again, I think self-preservation, maintaining like your health and having time to yourself is really helpful, and like emails can wait.
Yeah.
So I'm learning to do that. Some weeks I'm better at it than other weeks, and but okay. I know that when I protect those times for myself, I feel really proud, and I feel like, you know, I'm doing it, and I want to be better at it. Yeah. But it involves my calendars, which is fine. Not necessarily unplugging.
And that's okay.
At least not responding to someone else's needs, just mine.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, I think that's great. I think maybe I'll save that. I think that's one of our questions for later. But I'll yeah, but I really look up to you for that. I think that's a great thing to do.
No, I also learned from you guys, like color coordinating the calendars.
Oh, yes. It makes me so happy seeing all the colors.
Yeah. And when I look at like the week, like for me, the meetings are green. And
oh my God, my meetings are green too. No way.
And like random home stuff or whatever errands will be blue. So if I see a lot of greens, I'm like, it's a big meeting day. Yeah. Or if it's just like a different color, then I sort of mentally prepare myself for the day. Yes, Lenise, you have something to say?
Does it surprise anyone that my calendar is neutral colors?
No.
Yeah.
Shades of tan.
That's great.
Shades of tan.
If you love it, yeah.
If it works for you, if it makes you happy, bro, I am so happy for you.
Wait, how do you make shades of tan?
You can set the colors.
This is on the Google?
Yeah, it's like the hex colors.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to figure out. I don't know how I did it. I just sat there and stared at
custom color.
Like,
I see it now.
I don't like this one. I don't like this one. Yeah. I also have green, but those are the Doherty Lab coordinations. I guess meetings, but it's not my meetings, it's mass meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of boundaries, I was wondering if this also happens to you, but like sometimes you can just say, look, this is what I'm doing. Cool. Like some boundaries are easier to set than others. Yeah. And when they're not as like easy, like how do you navigate that? Because I definitely would like to avoid having to explain myself, like, oh, I have therapy because I have XYZ. Like, does that ever happen? How do you sort of like,
I feel like,
I don't know, deal with it?
Yeah, I feel like there's some like guilt that comes with like taking time off or setting boundaries. And it's like, not to be like, oh, it's a capitalist society, but like, you know, like we're all just here to work and be productive. And that's like what we're like ingrained to do, but whatever. So it feels weird to be like, oh, I have to leave in the middle of the day because I have to do something that is for like my own taking care of myself, because I'm a person. Yeah. I'm a person 24 hours a day and not like just after 5 and before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And that's something I struggle with too. Like I go exercise in the middle of the day and I feel weird about it. And I feel like kind of like I'm sneaking away from like lab, but like those can coexist.
Yeah. And you like, you should be able to choose how you spend your lunchtime.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, I think the thing is like, you just have to, I feel like you don't always have to explain yourself. Or you don't, like when you're sick, you just call it and say you're sick. You don't need to be like, oh, I have a sore throat. I have this, I have that. I'm sick. If I can't be here, I can't be here. If you're like, I am not available from 12 to 1, I'm not available from 12 to 1. And we can deal with this meeting at 1:30, you know? So I think feeling better about that, which is like, I say that with a strong tone of voice, and I still struggle with that. And like, I know I'm not going to be here for like 3 days next month. And I haven't told my boss yet because I'm like, I'm not ready to have this conversation because I feel bad about taking time off.
No.
But it's because like I'm taking a lot of time off, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing enough work, but that's like a whole other conversation. We're gonna laugh it off. Anyways, I thought I was like, oh, I don't have imposter syndrome. I might. Anyways, yeah, but I think it's fine. I think it's getting over that feeling and it's a tough feeling to get over.
Yeah. I have like the same feeling. Taking any time off is like, oh, should I really actually be doing this? Like even getting coffee, I was like, I could squeeze in another experiment if I didn't do this.
But like, does it really matter? And like, yeah, like doesn't really, like what is another 30 minutes? I guess like, I don't know. Some people are like, oh, every 30 minutes adds up and then you have like a month later. But like, I really don't care. I don't. If getting coffee with my friends makes my week better, why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that makes my day more enjoyable, if it makes me like feel better when I get back, like let me go get coffee with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And sorry, go ahead.
A lot of it for me is self-imposed. I think I built up this fear of being like, hey Matt, can I have these days off? And then when I do it, he's like, yeah, just put it on the calendar. And I'm like, why was I so stressed about it?
Yeah.
But I think, it is like, for me, it's, am I getting enough done? Am I at a point in my project that I wanted to be in? For like a long time, it wasn't. And now it's like kind of getting better. But I gave a practice talk and I told Matt this, and I was like, I don't know. I just feel like I know less than I knew before. And this is why I tend to undersell my project. He's like, you're a second year. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a second year.
You just got here, bro.
I know. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. We're not supposed to have everything figured out in our second year. And I know that everyone tells us this and we tell ourselves this, but I don't know. We're such successful individuals, if you will. The fact that we're in positions where, I mean, our productivity is like dependent on what we decide to do that day, and et cetera. It's like a lot of pressure. Almost like being an adult. Wild. I hate it here. Yeah, but I get it. I feel that. It's like, should I go in on the weekends? No. I multiple days of lab. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day we had a going away party for a postdoc, and my advisor's wife was there. And then the first thing she said to me was, "Hi, so good to see you. I heard you're doing so well." And I'm like, in my head, I was like, where is she getting this information from? Oh, her husband. Her husband is my boss. My boss thinks I'm doing well. Am I doing well? What am I doing? And I was like, oh, it must be true if she's saying this, because he wouldn't lie to his wife.
No. That's kind of cute, though, that he's like, oh, my student, she's doing so well.
I know. I was like, thank you, Kang.
I've learned that it's harder to walk than talk the talk.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we were always like, we're going to set these boundaries, never going in on the weekends. And here we are.
Yeah. Now I'm like, oh, if I take 3 days off in the middle of the week and I come 2 days on the weekend, then it's only like I took 1 day off, really, And da-da-da-da. What is 3 days in a year of being in lab? Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have like a range of PIs. Like Asama's has been here forever.
Calling him old.
Not as long.
Yeah. And I think when I talk to people about like stuff that goes on in lab, or like the things I like butt heads with my PI about, it's like everyone's like, oh, that's just new PI energy. And I'm like, cool.
Hopefully he learns.
Yeah, listen, I will go through this and no one else will ever have to go through what I'm going through. And that's okay.
I feel like I also get the benefit of having a European PI, because he's just used to people taking like 4 months off throughout the year because of holidays and family time and paid leave and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel normal in asking for days off because of Thai New Year's or because of family.
Yeah, which is totally fair.
I don't ask for time off anymore.
You just
say that I'm taking time off.
Yeah.
But that like doing that requires so much like
a little
mental
push,
fortitude, and be like, I'm taking time off.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Is that similar for you guys? Or?
Yeah, I just say I'm not going to be here, and then it's like, for why? And I'm like, going home to see my mom, like voice shaking. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So you just took time off. How did that go?
It was great. I was talking to my mom, and she was like, we need to buy the ticket soon because the prices are going up, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I emailed my PI and said, hey, I'm going to take these days off. I need to buy the tickets soon. It's going to get expensive. What do you think? And then he was like, okay, do it. That's it. No capitalization, no like
send from my
punctuation,
iPhone.
Send from my iPhone. And then I said, we can talk about it if you want. And then the next day he goes, so what are you going to do? And I said, gonna hang out with my family and gonna go hiking. And he's like, okay, that's it. So like I said, I feel more fortunate to be in like a lab that already established this culture of like, people are just going to go home and do stuff. Like, I think in a week or two, my PA is going to go on like a month and a half long vacation all throughout Europe. And I'm like, all right, you do you. Yeah. I actually asked him, are you going to take a 10-year-old daughter? And he's like, no, it's not for her.
Oh my gosh.
I would be so bad.
Never.
So we chillin'. And also the nature of our work is that like, I can just remote into my desktop at work. So I can still keep my things going while maybe like taking a meeting from like a coffee shop or something.
And you guys have like bigger labs too. I think that's also some like a dynamic that is like tough for me in my lab is that not anymore. There's another grad student on my side of the lab, but like he doesn't do wet lab work yet. So the entire productivity of my side of the lab is on me. And I think that's why I feel guilty about taking time off. Like if I don't do something, nothing will get done. I feel like weird about it.
I also see that in another grad student in my lab who mentors undergrads who come in on like set schedule. Because if he's not there, then the students don't have someone to like mentor them. Yeah. So I'm just trying to soak up the moment right now. And then maybe like 3 months later, I will have more stuff.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you're here, you know? Live life in the moment.
Yes. Yes.
I see that there's 5 areas of self-care. And there's a question that says, have you heard of them? And I haven't. But it seems like some of us have. Would whoever that has
Amanda.
Yeah, okay. I put that there. And then also Sama has a very nice little chart that I would love to link in the show notes also. But basically, this is what I was talking about where like self-care isn't just like taking care of yourself. I mean, it is taking care of yourself, but it's like more than just like, oh, I'm going to do a face mask. So like the 5 areas of self-care are physical, social, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And that is like different stuff of like aspects of you as a person to help you, like build you and like make you feel good again. So like physical stuff is like washing your hair, like making sure you're eating and, you know, maybe, do a face mask, whatever. But like think like that's a physical thing that you can do. And then like a social way to do self-care is like hang out with your friends or call one of your friends, go out to a bar or like go dancing or go do something that I think a lot of people, especially since the pandemic too, it's like people realize how like, social life is to them. And like that is self-care is to go hang out with your friends. Self-care is to call somebody you haven't talked to in a while and like catch up. Like that is taking care of yourself and your like mental health and wellness. And then, so then like mental health, like that's like a lot of people say like meditating, going to therapy, like all that is self-care. And then emotional, like, is like, you know, feeling your feelings. If you want to cry, and like journaling and like, I think maybe therapy also kind of falls into that, but like just
screaming.
Like just like really being, I think a lot of times people just like don't deal with their emotions, which I say a lot of people, I am a lot of people. But it's just like, you don't have time to deal with like stuff that makes you angry or like upset and like really process that. And then I think I process that when I get home, which is like, you know,
or sometimes Amanda will say, "Oh, it's a full moon tonight. Let's go touch the ocean."
Yeah, I've touched,
and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I've touched the ocean every full moon this year. So
wow.
Yeah, and that's like something, I don't know. I feel like I really love the ocean. Makes me feel like happy to be alive and like wow, like the world is so big and I'm very small and like I'm very in awe of like nature's beauty, whatever, But yeah, it's like it's something I really I don't know. It means a lot to me to go touch the ocean, so I do it. Yeah. So those are the five things.
What are your thoughts, Lenise?
About the 5 things. It's I mean, it makes sense. I don't think self-care is just one thing, I miss like mentioning the social aspect of it though. I have missed like, I don't know, we're still young. We still like to go out and stuff. And it's been nice. I reconnected with a friend from college and like hanging out, doing kind of like what we used to do back then. It's been good. And I also recently I just went to my first general body meeting with SACMAs.
Oh, yay!
So cute. And that was also nice. I was thinking of applying.
I think you should. I think you'd be so good.
I didn't because I needed to do a lab meeting.
Yeah.
That I hadn't done. And I prepared it the night before. And I was exhausted on Friday. And I didn't. Yeah. But I think I want to continue going to meetings.
What do they have for grad students? Because I feel like SACNAS is like, I hear a lot about it from like undergrad orgs.
I think they do like professional development and stuff. Okay. But I mean, it's the way that the board is made. It's like grad students and undergrads. I think that partnership is something that a lot of clubs don't have, or like they don't have a grad student or version org of the undergrads. And it kind of builds this bridge, right? Of, oh, we have a direct connection to grad students and postdocs, and this is what we need to apply.
Yeah, that is
yeah. And it's something that they do at the conference too. Yeah. I'm excited. I think I'll meet a lot of new people that way, and hear Spanish a lot more would be nice. It's something I truly, truly miss, like in my heart of hearts. I didn't realize how much I miss it and stuff. But it's nice to hear it in lab now and
cute
campus.
Oh yeah, and you speak Spanish with Chris sometimes?
I speak Spanish with Chris sometimes, but our lab manager Sophia also, she's from Las Playas, like from Baja. So we speak it often. Like, I don't know. Good morning's fine, but buenos dias hits,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? No, I don't know.
Sam, is there anything you want to say about your chart?
Well, yeah. So kind of similar to, the different aspects of your well-being that Amanda highlighted, like whether physical, social, mental. Another way of sort of like categorizing the self-care strategies are through like the type of activities that you do. So for example, so the different categories are distraction, grounding, emotional release, self-love, thought challenge, or life purpose. And maybe for distraction, it's watching shows or listening to music and just like really, feeling like the moment. For grounding, it can be like going for a hike, having, your chai tea first thing in the morning. For emotional release, like I said, scream or try out boxing, just like finding an outlet for all this pent up energy or maybe frustrations to get out. For self-love, maybe this one we're more familiar with, like treat yourself or doing something nice that you like. Thought challenge is something that quite ironically, I never thought a lot about, but maybe like journaling or like writing down things that are occupying your mind right now and sort of like help yourself sort of untangle that. And life purpose, the last category, can actually include a lot of examples like praying, traveling, connecting with friends, volunteering. But there are just like different ways to sort of like categorize nice things that you can do. And sometimes, for example, if you're singing in your car at volume 60, that can be like emotional release. And maybe it's also a distraction, and maybe it's also grounding. So many things. And that's an example I've seen Lenny's done.
Singing
in your car.
Singing in my car? Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
No.
At max volume.
If no one else is in my car, that shit. Oh, that is at 40, like consistently. I scare myself going back into my car because I'm prepared for the.
Yeah.
I've been caught driving and people crossing the street are like laughing. I'm like, I don't care, but it brings me so much happiness.
Yeah.
Yay.
If that makes you happy, bro.
Thanks. And it keeps me awake, especially driving to LA. I highly suggest buying a Screaming Goat off of Amazon. These are both.
I feel like you would need that.
We have one in each office. That lab.
Wait, so does the goat scream?
Yeah, it's like a little button, and you press on the goat, and it goes, ah. So you'll be like sitting in your office, and you'll hear it go off in the other one, and you're like, oh no.
That's funny.
Matt said that he doesn't see me as like I would be screaming. He was referring to his I guess her daughter drew a drawing of screaming. I was like, I identify with that. He's like, I don't think you ever scream. I was like,
okay.
You haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I did possibly say I'm stressed. And he was like, why? And I was like, oh, it's just something I say. Okay. You were gonna say something, Osama?
I forget.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay. Before we go to break, do you guys want to share like your favorite self-care thing? Or like, so just like an example of something or something you do often.
Well, I already shared that I love napping, but
yes.
Sometimes it's not possible. So I actually really like listening to audiobooks and going on walks. And sometimes even when I'm walking with my partner, Pete, we would listen to 2 completely different audiobooks and we would be hiking like 5 miles. And it's like amazing.
And that's fine. Yeah. I love that.
What about you? Oh,
okay.
Amanda.
I think my favorite thing is to go outside and to go to the beach. Yeah, like just to walk. I went to the beach, was it last week? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I like had time on a Saturday and sometimes I just stay in my house, but I was feeling like, I don't know, I need to leave my house. And I just went to the beach and I walked and I was like, wow, I really can just like do this.
Yeah.
And I like, I don't know, it's nice too. I like a couple of times like we've went after work like on a weekday together and I really enjoy that time. So it's one of my favorite things to do.
I think my coffee in the morning is nice. It's not also like just not any old regular coffee. No shame to anyone that drinks regular coffee. But I like milk. I foam my milk and throw a little caramel in it. It's very nice, very consistent. Nice start of my morning. But yeah, also going to the beach or the pool. Just the sun, like feeling the sun on my skin is very nice. We've had a couple good weather days.
Yeah.
Not fun when it's cloudy.
Meanwhile, someone listening to this is like,
I'm sorry.
In Seattle.
Knee deep with snow.
I think everyone
thrives all my life.
Yeah. That's how I feel too. I'm like, I've been in the sunshine forever. I don't know how I would move inland or like where it's not, I don't know. I'm built not for that.
I still need to figure out how to deal with this much sun because in Boston, I just don't get this much sun. And I just had other problems. And now I have normal glasses tan line. Yeah, well, just from going to school every day and not even like purposefully.
It's like wear your glasses outside. And then when people be like, oh, I waved at you and you didn't say hi.
I didn't have my glasses on.
I didn't have my glasses on.
No, but that's like unsafe for me because my eyesight is so bad.
Oh, no.
Like so much worse than Lenny.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, guys. Let's take a break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll see you on the other side.
Canva Pro is a premium plan of Canva that comes with additional features, including unlimited storage for photos and assets. You can upload your own images and access millions of photos. You'll get exclusive access to 400,000 free photos, illustrations, and templates. Sign up and get a 30-day free trial with our link, so you can make cool things to put up on your walls or flyers to promote your events. And you can do this by going to this link, partner.canva.com/triplicates.
Chegg Study gives you access to homework help and allows you to look up answers to questions found in textbooks, which Chegg keeps as a database. You can also submit new questions to experts and get answers to them as little as 30 minutes. Use the code CHEGG AFF5. That is all capital letters CHEGGAFF5 for $5 off your first month of Chegg. All right, welcome back. That rounds up what's going on with us this quarter and all things self-care.
And before we say goodbye, we want to leave off on one last topic, and the question for that topic is, what's the new self-care practice you want to begin implementing into your life? Amanda?
Yes, thank you. Great question. I want to do what Asama was doing with like non-negotiable like time, blocking my time off. Like I don't know. I always tell myself I'm going to exercise after work, and then sometimes I come home from work and I'm like, you know what I mean? So to like be more like intentional with my time of like, okay, I said I would go at 6, I'm going at 6. Yeah, and like something that's helped with that a little is like I was training to run a 5K, like and that was really helpful because I'm like, dang, I gotta go run, so like there's no reason for me to skip because I have to go do this thing, or like I told myself I would go do this thing. So like it was like I had some sort of obligation to myself to be ready for that. So I feel like I just need like another, like I feel like I'll work better with like a goal to run towards instead of just like vibing. That's something I want to incorporate, is like showing up for myself all the time.
What? You get to choose? No. Okay, fine. Okay. So I'm sure this is not new, but recently I saw on Twitter that someone has a punch card that every time they say no to something, they get to like mark it. And then once they say no to 10 things, they get to do whatever for themselves. And I really like that. It's not that like I get so many requests all the time and I always say yes to them, but I always feel so good to say no to things. So like, oh, I'm not available at this time.
Yeah.
What about the following week? So kind of similar to Amanda, where if there's like a tangible thing I can like check off or like I can meet, then it is better motivation for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try that. And it's always like fun to have a little punch card of something. Okay, now Lenice.
Me. I think allowing myself to treat myself. For a lot of my life, I have not allowed myself to spend set amount of money because it's just too much money. And maybe now it's like it's okay if you want to do this. You're paying for an experience and a memory that you'll carry with your entire life. And it's okay to like do that. And I deserve it, therefore I should allow myself that happiness.
Do you have an example?
I really want to, I don't know. I mean, I just bought tickets to the Bay to go see my friends, and I'm spending like a significant amount of time there. And I mean, traveling and hotels cost money, right? But I'm like, whatever. I haven't seen my best friend in like at least a year.
What do you mean? Amanda's right here.
Oh yes, but like,
okay.
Yeah, or like going to concerts again, and just being okay with spending that money. I think when you're brought up in a household that might not have like the best relationship with money, you're just, I don't know, the word in Spanish is cola. Like you just want to keep the money because you have it to have it. But it's like you have it to spend it and to treat yourself and things that you enjoy to do. Whether that's like go out to eat, go to a concert, etc., etc.
For sure. Yeah. If you ever want to eat something just like randomly on a short notice, I'm always down.
I have the biggest sweet tooth though.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Myself or someone else diabetes.
Maybe we can just show up to vibe.
Yeah, and exercise along with treating myself too, because I think I don't ever make time for that because I'm lazy, but I really should because we're only getting older.
I think.
Oh my gosh.
The emotional. I could have the shittiest day, and then I go for a fucking run, and then I'm like, bro, my day was nothing. Like I don't know what it is about just like sweating.
It's a dopamine.
Yeah, I don't know. It just it makes my day. Like it really does. So like if you're having a bad day, just go for a fucking run because that's all you need. I'm glad our brains are hardwired like that. It's an easy short circuit, you know.
Yeah. And cardiovascular exercise actually helps with your brain function. So
really?
Yeah, I used to do neuroscience research.
Oh wow.
We were like investigating whether or not like mindfulness practice, you know, strength training or yoga or cardiovascular exercise like strengthen your memory like from, you know, physiological like perspective, but also like through like cognitive tests. And turns out only cardio does that for you.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So do that.
Wow, I'm like really shook right now because like I feel like people are like mindfulness, like meditate, you know, like that's the thing to do. But it's like okay,
yeah, maybe it helps in like other ways, but like really get your blood pumping and like your brain going.
Yeah,
there's nothing better than cardio, and I'm saying that now, like after not doing cardio for years and years. Although I love dancing, and I think that's like very underrated cardio.
I think dancing like people is the best.
Yeah, people think dancing is just like haha fun, but then your heart rate is like
your heart rate's up. Like we love a Zumba class. I don't know if y'all this is like my tip to people or my gift to people on YouTube. If you Google and 8 fitness, A&D the number 8 fitness.
Oh, like when you count?
Yes, like 5, 6, 7, and 8. They do these like it's like kind of like Zumba, but like it's like more like hip hoppy and like more like current dance style. Like it's like super fun. And it's these 2 women. I think they're from like the DC area, or at least like that's where I see them do like pop up shows and stuff. And Doja Cat, Bad Bunny, Daddy Yankee. Like it's like all these like really current artists, and it's like if you just have 20 minutes and you're like I just need to move my body and like have fun and like let loose or whatever, like that is like one of my favorite things to do. So
wow. Well, in our next episode we're
all gonna twerk to Doja Cat
for the first 20 minutes.
For the whole 20 minutes, yeah.
Anything to twerk with.
You can put on some pillows.
Oh my god.
Okay. Let's round out the show. Do some observations, run some stats in our data. Asama, the question of the week?
The question of the week is, how many PhD students in our study practice self-care regularly. Me.
That means 100% of the PhD students in our study practice self-care regularly. I love
Yay. It. Well, if there's any other topic you want to share with us or hear from us, please let us know.
And you can do so by finding us on Twitter, Instagram, and or TikTok at Triplicates Pod. And you can email us at triplicatespod@gmail.com. If you like us, support us on patreon.com/triplicatespod. And with that,
Obrigada y ciao.
Gracias y adiós.
Khop khun ka. Bye.